Don't know what was going on there, folks, but welcome to the Black Lodge. There seems to be a bit of technical difficulties there with the sound, but it is the summer solstice. You're joining me, David, that drinks whiskey, live in the Black Lodge, sweating my tits off. To be honest, I hope everybody is doing well and you're doing alright. It's been a couple of weeks since the last live stream. Just seeing, I can see people coming into the chat already. It's Saturday night. It is absolutely sweltering down here in the southeast of England. I think we're talking about like in here. I think it's like 30 odd degrees at the moment. I put some ice in here to have a bit of a highball, and the second I poured the whiskey in, the ice just disappeared. No ideal, but we'll move on. We'll be fine. We'll survive. What's been happening since the last 2 weeks? Quite a bit, to be honest. I've been absolutely swamped with work. So I've not been quite on top of the whiskey scene as I normally would be. And I know a few people have reached out to me. I will get back to you tomorrow and Monday. It's been hectic. Patreons will know because I put up an exclusive little video for them. I flew out to the south of France on Monday for Cannes Lions. Huge advertising media thing through my day job. And I returned on Thursday evening, and to be honest, thank God I'm even able to speak. It was a long 4 days, great fun, fantastic, and if you follow me on Instagram you would have seen some stories and stuff like that. Had every intention of doing some whiskey content out there, every intention. I'd taken the old Springer t-shirt out, we were going to have some people wearing it, I was going to look at prices in Cannes for whiskey, like at bars and places like that, and just never get the time. I just never get the time at all. I'm trying to think the closest I got to a whiskey. I think I might have had a whiskey and soda twice in a bar. I think that was it, to be honest. But I can see folk already in. I can see Codger. Great to see you, mate. PX is in, brilliant. Craig, great to see you. Derek, fantastic. It's in mint julep season for sure. Absolutely, it is cocktail season, and that I think we'll have a wee chat about that this evening. The agenda's pretty loose. I'm kind of going to focus it around. It's summer. We're into summer now. What's everybody having? What's everybody planning on drinking? What's your whiskey habits around that? Do you feel comfortable mixing it? Do you feel, oh, it's a bit sacrilege? So we've got a lot to chat about that. Craig, brilliant to have you in. Thanks for joining. As I said, Derek's in as well. Codger, at least there's no echo. I think that deep cut, but everybody in here was a bit echo gate. But I don't know quite understand what was happening with that, because the settings hadn't been changed for the last time. So I don't know what happened. So I do apologise. Maybe it was just a wee overlap or something. Mark, great to have you in. Good evening. Hamish, great to see you, mate. Hamish, I'm coming up your neck of the woods. It is confirmed. I'm going to talk about that tonight. I will be there in a couple of weeks. So I'm going to need all the hints and tips you can give me, because it's a whistle-stop tour. Jeffrey's in, 89 degrees here on the East Coast. Now, I'm going to assume that's a lot hotter than here, because discourse on TikTok and Instagram amongst Americans is they can't understand why so many Brits are going, oh my God, it's so hot. And then they look at the temperature here and they're going, it's not that hot. We get high 90s, 100s, whatever. You guys, it's easy. It's just different. It just hits different, doesn't it? I'm sure everybody can join in with that. John, great to have you in. Evening, mate. Oh, and there's at least there's no echo. Exactly. Exactly. We live and we learn, guys. I'm never going to be able to forget that. And someone had messaged me, emailed me this week. I will come back to you. I will come back to you. As I said, I've been away all week with work. But Rafe, no problem, mate. Appreciate you dropping in anyway. If you can, hit the like. That was the Whisky friend that taught me that. Hit the likes, it really helps the stream. I didn't know anything about that, but you learn every day. So even if you're just tuning in for a quick drive-by, hit that. In the glass at the moment is just, I've went for a wee Yuichi highball, because I figured Japanese whiskey highballs, but as I said, the ice disappeared right away. So it doesn't really count as the one that's going to kick us off in the drams. So guys, as usual, let me know. What are you guys drinking at the moment, especially in this heat? Are you on cocktails? Are you on beer? I'm on day, where are we at now? 1, 2, 3, day 54, no beer. And that was tough this week, but I kind of made up for it a bit with rosé and Aperol. Which I know is probably worse than the beer, but oh well. Right, let's see. Well, let's go to the usual shot. I'm going to take you through the drams for this evening. Not really in an order of sorts, but I think you might enjoy. So we kicked off with the Yuichi single malt, just the standard Yuichi, 45%. Fantastic dram. If you've never had it, it's a peated Japanese. It just works really well. It's a great drinker, highly enjoyable. Bourbon Town, I figured let's go back to Rip. A wee bit of Van Winkle. Not got much left of it, but it's a belter and I figured why not, and it says on it 10 summers old, and summer is here. Then I've pulled up this Woven, the Experience number 7, purely because on the back of Woven bottles you get a little table, a little bar graph or a line graph of sorts, and on this one at the moment, I don't know if I can get close enough, it's right towards fresh, and I thought, you know what, that's what you need in weather like this. You want something fresh. So I figured try that. I've got Thompson Brothers North Highland Blend. One of the guys I was in Cannes with, it came to a tasting of mine previously, and one of the first things he said to me was, I've been loving that Tesco bottle you recommended. So got that because I just feel Clynelish Glenord, you're going to get all those fruity flavours. And then I've got my bargain pickup, which was like an Amazon error, and it was a Clynelish 10 special release cask strength. Let's see, on it, it says it is matured exclusively in first fill bourbon. Clynelish cask, oh god, what's going on there? Don't want to go there, come on. Let's get away from that now. You can never trust the tech, but the Clynelish 10, which is exclusively like cask strength in bourbon, it's going to be great. So I figured, good excuse to crack that open this evening. Codger's on Ross and Squibb and Coke. Alright, I'm no familiar with that one, Codger, at all. And Hamish, I'm just having the one tonight, working tomorrow. Tom Ward, cream sherry version, worth checking out. Is that one of their newer, is that the newer, like the new release that's came out, Hamish? Because they've just really kind of started putting it back out to market now, haven't they? On the way to market thing, with me being away this week now, I have absolutely missed Springbank release week. I have not picked up anything at all. Do let me know in the chat if you have. I'm figuring I'm going to be able to pick up something, but I'm just not in any rush for it. I'll have to get the Kilkerran heavily peated because unfortunately I have bought every one of those and they won't stop doing the batch numbers. It's such a pain in the arse, but it is what it is. And then I've not heard anybody open the cask strength yet, so I don't know if you have had it. What do you think of the new cask strength? Did anybody get the anniversary bottling, like the vintage bottling? I'm intrigued to know about that as well, so do let me know in the chat. If anybody has, it's going to be one of you guys. Derek, samples from my free Infinity bottles, how are you finding them? How are they working out? Have you managed to maintain them and like get them at a good level? The ones I tried were just disaster, but you live and you learn, don't you? Tim saying, hi all, missed the start, is watching a repeat of your Whisky Show 2023 video, David. Interesting look back. They're, you know, they don't perform really well, if I'm honest, and by that I mean they take a lot of time and effort to do. But from like a weirdly historical point of view, to be able to see what was coming, what was really kind of like in vogue at the time, what people were going after, it's quite funny to look back on. This year, it'll be intriguing to see how the show is, because there's a lot of, it's a weird vibe at the moment. It's a weird vibe. There's a lot of shows, and the prices get more and more expensive every year. I'm wondering if we're starting to like condense back into more focused whiskey enthusiasts attending, as opposed to just broad strokes, because it's getting priced out a wee bit. But we'll find that out. But what did you think, Tim? What stood out? Anything that you're like, oh my god, look at that, or what I passed by? Hamish, Blueprint series had a taste of the toasted version as well, which actually might be better. I'll need to check them out, because Tommore is Elixir Distillers, formerly owners of the Whisky Exchange. Am I right? Remus. Okay, Remus Pub and Distilling India. It was MGP. John managed to get 2 of them. I don't know. Were they hard to get, John? I completely missed it. But I've seen a couple of people were offering in my whiskey group and that, and I've just not had the time. And I'm like, I probably should pick one up, but I'm just kind of watching what I'm picking up at the moment. I've like just backlog of bottles. That's why I'm just like, I'm actually going to just start cranking through stuff. The Klein Leash I ended up picking up, was it was a kind of half tipsy purchase that when my mate pinged me it, I just thought, for that 40 odd quid, give me it. I'm glad I did, but we can talk about that tonight as well. The great fire sale of special releases that's been happening in the last 2 weeks. There is no news segment this week because I just never had time to do it. I had planned one coming live from Cannes, but I just never had the time. And I thought, you know what, I'd rather do it right than just put something together. So the news segment will be just the entire stream this evening. As I said, we're talking about themes tonight are whiskies in the summer. What do you go for? What's your cocktails? Is there any, do you find snobbery and bias still there? Is there anything that's really surprised you in the glass when you've maybe accidentally mixed it with something or tried something? I've got a great anecdote about a message I received today from my brother, who's not even a whiskey drinker, about what he discovered. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the Diageo special releases, bottling, pricing situation, and if we think, is that a consequence of too high pricing or just not enough demand or a bit of both? And have you been picking them up and have you been satisfied at the price? And we're just going to talk about general whiskey stuff at the moment, so I hope everybody is on form for that this evening. Could you manage to pick up a 12 in Dawn up before we left? Haven't cracked it yet, got backlogs from the festivals. Exactly. I think that's the problem with a lot of people. A lot of people have a lot of stuff. It's the first time trying them this year, not a disaster, but not blowing my mind. The world of whiskey is in danger of having too many ryes, and this is Derek talking about his infinity blends. Yeah, it can be. It's a tough one, isn't it? It all depends on what you're putting in it, and if you've got too many ryes, how do you pull it back? But that's part of the fun. You're trying to learn what you've got and what's going on. Oh, brilliant, John, you got one on the ballot. I know there's quite a few people. I wouldn't say peeved. I would say they were a little bit. I think the ballot this year, I know in the London ballot, or in the ballot in general, it was a kind of blink and you miss it email. And I think quite a few people I know missed it. And then Tim talking about the 2023 whiskey video that I did, the Whisky Show. Noted Julius from Decadent saying how good Indri was. Still haven't tried any, might have to pick one up. That's why I like to rewatch. Yeah, that was the irony sheet in that video. And it's funny if you go and watch the 2024 one where I do the free shows. In 2023, I never got the time to go to Indri, even after Julie said that. because even to get from that side of the hall to the other side, just you're going by Chichibu and all that, and you get distracted, and then you end up upstairs and what have you. But then I did try it last year, and it blew me away. So it was quite funny to have that. Because you're saying, was it warm in Cannes? Aye, it was like 32 to 35 degrees, but because you're right on the water, you've got that natural breeze, but also they're built for it. So everywhere you went had air conditioning, or those like fans with the water and stuff. So coming back here, it felt hotter. It has felt hotter here. I've definitely sweated more here than over there. If what's insane. Fire sale indeed, got an open 11 a leg, only 12 in a Talisker, all about 50% off. Exactly, it's madness. It's madness. And the thing is, just because of their special releases, I've done some tastings before when they get the pack. The whiskey shop sometimes do the online tastings, and I've done the pack, and it's been all right. I remember I took them on holiday, and I had the Mortlach one that was finished in it was in an Australian Pinot Noir cask, and then it was finished in the Kurosaka cask, or maybe it was the other way around. And it just never did anything for me. I was like, and it was no age statement as well. And I'm like, how many finishes do you want to put in this? And I've noticed that's never came down in price, but I don't know why. If it came down, I might try it, but Tim's having a field in rye tonight. I had a taste today and picked one up after chatting with the brand ambassador, Orlando. Great story to what they're trying to do. Yeah, because Fielden was previously the Oxford rye distillery, and I always found Oxford rye not like rye, and it took me aback a wee bit. So do let us know how that is. I had it in a bourbon tasting. There's a video where I went to it was like 24 dram tasting. Didn't even know what I was going to at Low Country, and he snuck one of those in there, and it never sat well amongst what we were having. But I wouldn't dismiss it on that. Donna Pass Whiskey, great to have you in, mate. Welcome. Right, Jeffrey, you're going to have to forgive me here if I try and pronounce this. You're starting with it. Yeah. I'm going to pronounce it like Scots. Uskabak Reserve. Let me know if that's right, but I don't know what that is. So apologies on that. Now, as we get into it, let me see if I can get this shot again. Is this going to be focused somewhere completely different? There we go. We are going to kick off. I'm going to kick off with the Thompson Brothers. I figure that's probably the best one to go for off the bat. Oh, right in the eye. It's Saturday after all. Just a great dram. So as I mentioned, and I said to Hamish and that, I am booked. I am heading up to Dornoch. Finally, we are staying at the Dornoch Castle Hotel, which I'm buzzing about, but we're not going to get there until about 10 o'clock on the Tuesday night, which is going to be late. But we're flying up to Edinburgh. We're doing a half day in Edinburgh, so I'm going with my mate that is from California. He's coming over. We're flying up to Edinburgh. We're doing a half day Edinburgh. We're going across to Glasgow, picking up the car. We're driving straight up to Dornoch. We get into Dornoch 10 o'clock Tuesday night. Sunset that night. It's 10 past 10, so it'll still be daylight. Keep their eye on the prize. Get a few drams in. Hopefully on the Wednesday morning, catch up with some of the Thompson Brother guys, the Dornoch guys. Then in the afternoon, and this is where I'm going to put it to the crowd because I have not confirmed it yet, we are going to Speyside. It's just where. I don't know where to take them. I want to park the car because I want to enjoy myself as well. So part of me is thinking, do we go all the way to Elgin, and then we can do Glenmurray, and we can do, there's buses easy enough to get places from the central hub. And then ideally I'd like somewhere with a pub or two, so we can get a bite to eat easy enough, places to stay. So Hive Mind, Saturday Night Drams crowd, let me know on that. Hamish, I'm sure you know that area really well as well. Any tips or tricks? Or is maybe Elgin know the right place? Should I look at Rothus? Should I look whatever? And then on the Thursday, it's literally a flying visit. On the Thursday, we're back down to Glasgow. We're going to go the long way though. So I was looking at going the long way up, the Loch Lomond, Loch Ness, up that way. There's just not enough time. We'd get to Donlock at like 11ish, and that's too late. But we're going to come down. We're going to come down that way into Glasgow on the Thursday evening. So we will be in Glasgow on Thursday evening. Don't know whether to go to Artisan for dinner, take them there, experience that, or just stay local in the city centre. And then on Friday, we are heading to the world famous, the one and only Vegas on the coast, the north coast. We're going to Blackpool. At his request, he wanted to see something weird, so we're going to Blackpool, and then we're back to London on the Saturday. So it's a very whistle-stop tour. So any advice people can give me in that area, please do let me know. Go back to the comments here, guys. I've seen people jumping in. Let me see. There where are we? We are here. Tony Nelson, where are you? You're up on the screen up here as well. Cheers, and nice meet up with Glenn. This week I had a tasty Bunamore Distillery Dram at his place in Cocktails and Raleigh. Oh, fantastic, Tony. I've not seen Glenn in, because I know he's normally Saturday's a busy day for him. But great guy. Had the pleasure of meeting him last year in Glasgow as well. So I'm sure you had a great time with him. Look at that, they pushed a discount for the Lagavulin rum in the States, $40 a bottle. Yeah, madness. Frank, brilliant, welcome in, mate, welcome in. I've got to get back to you on Instagram as well. You would have missed the start. I've been away with work all week, it's been full on, but I will come back to you. I'm going to talk about that a wee bit later as well. And I'm seeing Tony's same approach. Frank, coming down. Codger's saying, take your golf clubs to we're flying up to Edinburgh. I'm not lugging them about, but I've heard it's everybody I know who loves golf talks about Donnock in such esteemed terms. And I know Hamish does a fair bit up there as well. My tasting tomorrow is for a wedding party from California who are taking over a large place just outside Inverness. Maybe your guys knows them. I would hazard a guess not Hamish, but you never know. I'll ask him if he knows anybody over here. And Tony's saying, recommend Glen Murray House tasting or Benriach Barrels and Butts tasting. Yeah, I've heard Benriach, the bar's phenomenal. The reason I'm mentioning Elgin as well is G&M. I know that they've not got the shop open yet, but I don't know if that's a good place to be. Tom Pass saying, last night I broke a 6-month fast from buying bottles in Northern Longmore. 18 cast strength, my goodness. And hiya Frank. And Campai Planet Mac. Good morning, mate. Good morning. Can't imagine what possesses you to be watching my face first thing in the morning, but I appreciate it all the same. All the same. And then how to pronounce what Jeffrey's drinking is Uskaba. Okay, I wasn't fat, so it's Uskaba, like Uskaba. Right, okay. Got you. And then Edinburgh, Loch Lomond, Donnock, we've been absolute horror show. So we're coming across on the train because we're picking the car up at Glasgow Airport because it was £250 cheaper from Glasgow Airport than Edinburgh Airport. And that's like, we just jump the train. Just get the train and we'll get to it's worth it. But yeah, we're just going straight up, maybe stop off at Aviemore or somewhere for a bite to eat around about 8 o'clock, and then the rest of the road up. Let's see, keep going. Chat's flying this evening, absolutely flying. Love to see it. Where are we? We have Petehead was asking, I hope you didn't have any nightmares. Mac dreamt it wasn't overpriced, and then he woke up. Aye, always the way, mate. Mac, I had a wee highball of Yuichi. Yuichi. You'll correct me. I'm sure, next time I see you. And then Alan saying, evening Dave, hope you and family well. They're doing great, mate. Thank you so much. The little one is going to be turning 2 in 2 weeks today. So unfortunately there won't be a stream in 2 weeks, for obvious reasons, because it is her birthday party and stuff, and we've got family visiting and family coming from Paraguay and all that kind of stuff. It's a mad one. But we'll talk about that later on, about plans for the streams. Because of this road trip, I think there might be opportunities to do like quite a lot of fun stuff. And I don't want to say too much, but we should be in a good place. That even though there won't be a live stream, there'll be a mega extravaganza stream of sorts that will come. Might not be, it'll be part live and might be part recorded as well, a bit like when I do the news and stuff. So just try to make sure it all happens. Basically, go for a G9 tasting after Glenmurray tasting, visit the Highlander for a dram and a pub lunch, tour Balvenie or Speyburn, make a stop at either the bar at Glenallachie or Glendronach. Brilliant. Yep, that was my these were my thinkings along those lines. I'd looked at Macallan just because it's Macallan and it's like what Willy Wonka, isn't it really, that place? But they're not opened. They're only open Thursday, Fridays, and we're there Tuesday, Wednesday, so it's not really any use. Plus, it's not cheap. It's not cheap at all. Amy's saying Gordon McPhail have a well-appointed temporary shop in Elgin. Murray McDavid just opened a place in Forest as well. Right, that's good to know, because I've not put anything out on Instagram or that yet, and I've got a few of the brand reps and people on these establishments that follow me and that, and I was going to reach out to them, and I've got friends that know people, all that kind of stuff. But before I ask anybody of that, I just want to have a rough sketch of it and know what we're going to do and what is of interest, because I could very easily go and take them and we could go and do some very simple, easy distilleries and that, but where's the fun in that? You know, you don't get to do this very often. It's mine and his 20th anniversary friendship year, so that's part of the reason he's flying over. So we want to make sure that we go good places. The best coffee bacon roll 99 is a Turkish guy in Dunkeld. Manages a box of frogs and swears in multiple languages, but food and crack is excellent. Brilliant. I wonder if probably maybe get that on the... I don't know if we'll get it on the way up, because we're not picking the car up till about 5 o'clock. And it's annoying because I would like to go to Dunkeld Whisky Box and I would like to go some other places, and but Dornoch, eyes on the prize to get to Dornoch. That's my main focus. When you drive up to Dornoch, Tomatin's open. When you're driving by, the PX handfill is legendary for good reason. Mine was over 20-year-old and similar price to the no-age Glengoyne teapot. That's good to know, because it could be an option on the way back down from Dornoch. I'm tempted as well by Glenmorangie, just to pop in. I know it's in Tain. What do you reckon? Bit touristy, a bit worth it? Is there anything I can pick up there that I can't get elsewhere? It's more for my mate as well, because when he was at dinner a couple of weeks ago at some restaurant that's apparently a huge whiskey institution in LA, and I'll get him to talk about it, but he'd sent me the whiskey list and he said, any recommendations? And a lot of the stuff was overpriced, and I know that he's not huge on Scotch. He's getting into bourbon and stuff and Tennessee whiskey and try to get him educated. And so I just said, honestly, for what you're going to be eating, just get the Quinta Rubin, Glenmorangie Quinta Rubin, and he loved it. So it's kind of like maybe take him in there just so he can see it. I know distillery price will be more expensive than online and stuff, but just a nice thing to do. And Alan's lad was 5 on Thursday, has a birthday party in the house tomorrow. I hope it's cooler where you are, Alan, than here at the moment. But that'll be a great day. Chaos, absolute chaos, I'm sure. Managed chaos though. George picked up an unpeated Killia at 11 euro with a £40 reduction. Seems like Diageo having a clear out. Yeah, they are. They absolutely are. I think anybody following knows that the whisky market has seen a massive downturn. We've seen alcohol sales across the board have a massive downturn. I have a mosquito in here, so if you see me clapping my hands randomly, it's me trying to get it. The massive downturn means that a lot of stock has just been sat on, and surely you would rather just get some revenue back in to keep the wheels turning than sit on it. And I think it helps retailers as well, because obviously even when it's marked down, they've still got a margin and they can still turn it. It's the exact same as well, it's not the exact same, but it's the same premise. There we go, got one. It's the same premise of what the Thompson Brothers mystery malt is, where they've managed to take a lot of cask whisky that would have been sitting about and create a concept that has helped retailers as well. So the retailers are getting footfall, buying bottles, people are enjoying the process around it. They're shifting whisky, they can buy more, like it just keeps everything moving. And I assume that Diageo are in a similar position where they have all these special releases that just haven't shifted, and it's quite telling that it's the last couple of years that they're shifting. But it's like it's selling it when they've dropped the price, it's selling. So it's quite a telling factor that maybe it is pricing. It's not the liquid as such, because we love this liquid when it's independent, because it's cask strength and it's not touched up, and that's what these special releases are. So it's a bit of give and take, isn't it? And you would like to think that if they're putting it out themselves, they're keeping the good stuff for themselves. But aye, we'll see. And Frank's saying, be careful, Glendronach can be closed, was closed when I showed up just 2 weeks ago. Right, because I know Glendronach's more northeast of Speyside way. I think when we were driving to Old Meldrum last year, I knew that it was up and round, and I thought, could we maybe swing round, but there was just no time. Having a drama under the Craigellachie Bridge, yeah, it's stuff like that I want to do with them, because it's Scotland, you know, it's Scotland for Americans. No offence to the Americans, but you know what I mean. It's such a far-flung land, and it's everything you want, and it's picturesque, and it's like I've got my wee. I always have my wee. I got that last year. My wee Highlander Inn jug, and my Glengarry pipette. But I want to do stuff like that, and get his viewpoint and his point of view on what he thinks of Scotch, and like how we get him into it, or if he doesn't get into it and why, and stuff like that. Bill Blair's an often overlooked option to non-octane cask strength handful for £99. Okay, mate, yeah, absolutely. To be honest, I've not had much Bill Blair. I know that a lot of people rated it before they kind of tweaked. They went a bit funny with it, didn't they? And they tweaked stuff, and now I've heard that it's good, but again overlooked a wee bit. So I'll definitely keep that in the list. And Donna Pass is saying, "Oh yes, Bill Blair is beautiful," so I'll definitely look into that. Right, I'm gonna have a dram. Cheers, guys. I just get off of that. It's a little bit thicker than you'd expect for 44%, give or take, on the mouthfeel. But I get a confectionery dusting of sugar on it every time. And like a pineapple. The pineapple's diminished over time, to be fair. Now, there it is, pineapple cubes. The sweets, the hard candy sweets, pineapple cubes that you get in Scotland. I don't know if you get them elsewhere, but saying just a mile or two north of Dunrobin Castle is beautiful grounds. Yeah, I was thinking about going up. It's just the timing. Let's try to fit everything in, because I'd love to drive up to Brora and stuff like that, and then maybe even just keep driving, get to John O'Groats and touch it. But it's all dependent on the time, and I think that's going to be the thing that kind of we're up against. We're up against a wee bit. Guys, if you haven't already, can you smash that like button? It helps the channel immensely. I've got more videos coming out. I don't know if everybody's seen the For Me or No For Me's that I've been doing. Graham at Ardnamurchan was kind enough to reach out, and he'd sent me the sample of the Midgie, the latest release, and I hadn't had, I think I had last year's Midgie at a show, but when you're at a show and you're trying to remember everything, there's so much going on. But this one kind of came into it blind-ish. I hadn't tried it, sampled it, and was, I thought, you'll see that if you've not seen it, you can watch the reaction, but it's all genuine, it's all real time. It was good. I thought it was really good for what it was, and I think the price point of it and everything is just great. Really, really good. Right, let me see what's going on here. That seems to be just a wee bit louder than normal. There we go. I'll take it to there. There we go. Much better. Right. Mark saying the Ardnamurchan, the Madeira was great. I'm not sure of Madeira casks. And I'd said it and then I kind of cut it out of the video because I went on this weird side tangent about Madeira and then rum and then mezcal, but I couldn't quite remember what I was talking about, and it just made me seem a bit kind of like as if I was trying too hard to justify not liking stuff by Ardnamurchan. So I removed that from the video, but I like a Madeira cask. I found the mezcal a bit, I don't think I like mezcal casks, if I'm honest. And then rum cask, I'm consistent with that. I really struggle with a rum cask whiskey because I just think a lot of the time it's just rum. I've got the wee Springbanker last year open day and I've never opened it because it's rum cask. And I'm kind of like, oh, am I going to open it for the sake of opening it? And then guess what? I'm going to go, it tastes like rum. And then I need to sit it on a shelf or give it to somebody else. It's just a quality dram. We are, of course, just talking about everybody joining late. Talk about the Thompson Brothers, 8-year-old. I'm not sure how much of this is still kicking about, to be honest. I know you can get it on Amazon, but that's a slightly different blend. This is the 2 blend, which is Glenord and Clynelish, and the one on Amazon is a 3 blend. I think it might have Donner. I don't know if it's Donner that's in it or whatever, but I don't know how close it is to that. So as I said earlier, we are talking, just having a wee rambling evening of sorts. It is summer solstice. Therefore, question is, it is hot. It is summer. What are you pouring? What are you drinking? What is your go-to? So today my brother messaged me and he just sent a picture of his bottle of Woodsford Reserve that I'd given him for Christmas. As I said, he's not a big drinker. He likes some bourbon, doesn't really drink scotch. And he says, oh, I found a cocktail online, but I never quite had the right thing. So I added like elderflower and apple sparkling water to it and some bitters. But it's unbelievable. I'm loving it. And I'm like, fantastic. I was like, that's what you should do. Just experiment a wee bit. There's no harm. There's no foul. One of the things I discovered, and I've said in many a video, and I've said many a thing, and I've got it on my website as well. I've got like wee kind of guides on my website. I need to put a couple more up that I've finished recently, which are top summer drams and stuff like that. And I was going to quote from it tonight, but I just feel like that's too easy. So I figured we would talk through it. But Glenfiddich ginger beer, not ginger ale, but ginger beer and some lime, came about from me because I'd ran out of absolute vanilla vodka and I was having Moscow mules. It was a lovely summer's day and I thought, oh, I've got about that much left of a bottle of Glenfiddich 12, like the old branded Glenfiddich 12 as well. Jesus Christ, a big thing flew out my face there. That'll make for a good clip. And it tastes like umbongo. It was the most tropical, the most tropical kind of fruity, mangoey. I couldn't get over it, and I was like, but this is Glenfiddich 12 and ginger beer and lime. So that's a go-to for me. Orchid House, Compass Box. Have that with tonic. Have it with soda. have it with lemonade. It's so easy. Anybody not into whiskey, that's the one bottle I always say go for, because especially this time of year, some ice in it if you like, whatever. The nose is so potent of just apples. It overcomes a lot of barriers for people. So it's just a great dram to be having. Alan saying Thompson Brothers one was okay but not as good. Yeah, I had a feeling that might be the case. I don't think they did it intentionally, but they're trying to recreate it and do it at a price point where Amazon are taking a cut in that as well. So there's a bit of, they had to make their margin. So I couldn't imagine it'd be as good. Don Pass saying Balblair 12 and Altmore 12 are wonderful summertime choices. Yeah, I'll need to try them, to be honest. I've not had those. I feel like a Linkwood. A Linkwood's really good. Summery dram. A Daft Mill, if you've got it, or if you've got the bucks to spend, is great. A Dalwhinnie isn't bad either. Or a Glenkinchie. It's weird, there's quite a few of the Diageo, like Flora and Fauna type ones as well, that are just bang on that kind of summery, that breeze. I think when you get into Speyside and that, it gets a wee bit funny because of the sherry influence. And a lot of people, myself included, the cherry is more dark months, more Christmassy. And so it can at times be a little bit too far flung. But then on the same time, you go to Spain, you go to Seville, and you're quite happy drinking a PX on a hot summer night after a meal. So it's a bit of a strange one. Mark saying old fashioned with an Arrow Barrel Reserve, fantastic. Aye, old fashioned. I don't know. Do we reckon Scotch is good? I'm saying Scotch, but whiskey is good in an old fashioned. Is it a certain type that you would say you need to have, or are you quite happy with how it would be? Is normal? Because I remember trying to make them with, I think I was making them with, a bottle of Ben Romac, but we're talking, this is 2025, we're talking 20, I'm going right back now, 2011, 2012, early 2012 maybe. And they were alright, but they weren't quite the same as having it with a bourbon. Might just not be the right whiskey. I'm saying any Loch Lomond Distillery edition would be good in this weather. I nearly had it on my table, but I had it on 2 weeks ago. And I thought I'll take it, I'll go for something different. Craig's on the Brewdog show, leave WASD through the physics pump. How's that? Does it work alright, that physics pump, Craig? And he's going on to a Craig Ellicky. Craig Ellicky's good, fruity, really light. One of the guys in Cannes I was talking to, he'd said he was on his way, he'd been travelling somewhere, and he picked up a bottle of Craig Ellicky. I want to say it was 17 for his friend's birthday, and gave him it. And they cracked it open and they loved it. Very fruity, very like almost tropical in its lightness, and I think it's overlooked a lot because I think the labelling's terrible on Craig Ellicky. I think it's a terrible label. Pixon Rumcast finish work well in an old fashioned. Yep, I can see it in that. I think my problem with my dislike of Rumcast whiskey is that it doesn't taste like, for me a lot of the time, the spirit that I'm expecting. It tastes like rum. But in an old fashioned, it's a great way of getting rid of it if you don't like it, or trying something different, because you'll be bringing that sugary, that intense sugarness that the rum brings into it. And Frank's saying, my hot day, just the same as any other day, water all day and a dram in the evening, bourbon matured of course. Well, Frank, I don't know if you'd seen the lineup earlier that we are running through tonight. I might in that honour crack open the 100% first fill bourbon Clynelish 10. Shall we get that opened? Why not? Let's get it opened. I'm just saying, Alan's, I love the Craig cable. Are we talking about the same label? The yellow one with the thing and the wee drawing that goes a bit. I just think it's so. I don't know who it appeals to you guys, obviously. Now, I'm not expecting much because this is going to be just cracked open, obviously, but 57.5% matured exclusively in first fill bourbon American oak casks. Natural cask strength. Now, do we think it is coloured? Or do you think it's natural? What are we saying? It doesn't say on it. Doesn't say that there's no colour adding, but you never know. And then, yep, you're both saying, yep, that's the label. It just doesn't. I just don't like it. Just doesn't do it for me. I think it makes me purposely kind of look away from it, which I need to get over. Right, let's see how it does. Obviously the neck pour, so it's not going to be right off the bat, but I know for a fact Frank will be all over this. A lot of vanilla. Good depth to it. Not hot at all. Not the slightest. Coats the palate, really lovely. It's just all vanillas at the moment I'm getting. Waxiness is there. Not an intense waxiness. I've had waxier ones. It's more just lingers for the money I paid for that. That's lovely. Right off the bat, and that's just the neck pour. That's just opened. It's just a solid example of clean leash. Be great in a highball. It would be great in a highball. Which is what we're talking about this evening. Can we pull it off? Tim saying he got a bottle of Thompson Brothers Circumstance from their shop last year. Worth picking up if they still have any beautiful dram. I've seen a couple kicking about. There was one in the Whisky Exchange at London Bridge a while ago, and I kept humming and hawing. It's probably gone now, but I can always ask them if there's any in any other shops. There's a couple. I've got a bottle to pick up from the store, which is their latest Deanston, which is maybe super waxy. So I'm really excited for that to pick up. I'm going to be like a kid in the candy shop in their shop, because there's so many bottles that I've just let pass me by. So I just need to be careful about it. But that's one of the beauties. We're flying up, but then we're getting the train from Glasgow to Blackpool to, and we'll have the cases. So we should be able to carry whatever we want. The reason I'm going to Blackpool, in case anybody's not seen it, last summer I went on the road trip up with my family up to Glasgow, then up to Aviemore, and then we went through Speyside and we ended up in Old Meldrum. But on the way up, stopped off in Blackpool and discovered a phenomenal bourbon bar that had some good whiskey as well. So I think we're going to visit there. It was great. It was so well priced as well. So well priced. Trying to say, disclaimer, I'm not into marketing at all. It's fine, everybody's entitled to their opinion, even if it's wrong. Don't worry about that. And got a blood nut vineyard for a very good price, but it's an odd flavour and the finish neat to me, so using it on ice with a bit of ginger beer and soda water for a cocktail. And that's it. Like, we're going to have these bottles where it maybe just doesn't quite get on with it or whatever, but you can add it in a cocktail and you're like, actually, that's a really nice mixer in a cocktail. It's something I hark on about all the time, about how precious we are about whiskey, and we're allowed to be, but it bars the gates of letting new people in. And if new people come in via cocktails, or they come in via mixing it with Coke, or they come in any which way, we should allow it. It's the only one that like we really guard. Nobody really polices gin or vodka or tequila or mezcal or anything like that. But whiskey is well policed, and like even bourbon's not policed the same way. So it's good to know that if you get something you're not quite on it, you can try it. And blood nut scares Alan. They seem to either hate it or love it, never a middle ground. I agree. I've had some great blood nuts, and then I've had a couple of blood nuts and I'm just like, my God, what is that? I think it must depend on what they're putting in it, eh? Like what batch and what cask they're pulling from. Haven't tried it. It's honestly, it's worth having a look in the Netherlands, because if they're reducing it here and they're reducing it in the US, they'll be reducing it everywhere. That's only I've had the 10-day release years ago. That was fantastic, but your opinion seems to be shared by many others. Just got this one as it was on offer for 35 US. That's it. It's perfect, man. Like, this is. See. House of Malt organising the Northern Whisky Show in Carlisle 1st of November. Springbank signatory, to mention a few. Could be my first show, only 30 miles away. Craig, get on it, man. It'll be such a good show, especially if they're organising it. They'll have such a good, strong local connections amongst people, enthusiasts, and amongst suppliers. Like, you can't really go wrong if Springbank and Signatory are there. You'll get your money's worth off that alone. It's definitely worth looking into. I'm trying to work out my winter, well, my autumnal winter show. I've got Glasgow. I think it's on the 8th, maybe. Is it the 8th? Because if that's the 1st, that'll be a Saturday, I presume. So I think we're in Glasgow on the 8th. So I've definitely got that lined up. London, I've still to confirm what's going on with that, and I know there's very few tickets left, so I don't know if I'll make it. They might get a spare off someone, and that's about it at the moment. Not doing Edinburgh Whisky Fringe. I've not got much else on the go in terms of that. I'm trying to just, once I get this road trip out the way, and then we have a look at what else is going on, then I can figure it out. That was an annoying thing. Cam was going to be a drams on the run. But and this is in reference to the Circumstance. It's a 3-year-old Circumstance, and the Circumstance are doing great stuff. I know Roy Aquaviti talks about them a lot as well. I think Vin No Nonsense Whisky, he talks about them. I know Jeff Whisky talks about them. They're doing a lot of good stuff. And then Solar Wireworks, I nearly brought down Alan. Actually, I nearly brought I've got the first ever bottle they released. Still, I don't think it's worth much at all, but I have the first bottle in the house, on my shelf in the study, and I'm always so tempted to crack it open, and I just can't bring myself to do it yet. Because what if that first batch wasn't as good as every other batch? I've been looking at this. I've been looking at it. It's timing for me. I'm away on holiday in September with the family, so I'm trying to work it out and see the overlap and how the work scene and stuff is at that time. Because even just going up, I was trying to work out, because it's Friday night and Saturday session, isn't it? And I was trying to work out if it was worthwhile going up the night before, or try to do anything and stuff like that. It can get a wee bit too tight. Plus, try to get the train up. I can't really do a Saturday morning up and then straight back down. So, well, I could, but it's just a lot of travelling and a lot of running away. Evening, Lowlander. Great to have you in. Hope you're keeping well. The general topic of conversation this evening is summer drams. What you like to put in your glass in the summer. Do you like to make cocktails with it? If you do, what's your go-to cocktail? We've been talking about the Diageo special releases and the pricing and who's been buying what. And it's been quite intriguing about, we're all picking up Diageo bottles again because of the price, those special releases. So we've been doing stuff like that this evening, just to give you a quick recap. But of course, if you want to watch it all on catch up, it'll be up after the live stream. Because you did a fireworks tasting event at Donnock Castle. It was fantastic. Oh, I couldn't, like, you're going to be at Donnock Castle for a tasting. That's fantastic in itself, but with fireworks stuff. What did you think? What was your favourite? So I still have that Croydon Whisky Festival video to edit. And the reason I've not edited it and put it up is because I remember leaving there that night and just thinking to myself, I wish I had a cameraman, or I wish I had someone else that could just help me out a wee bit, because I felt it was really tight and I couldn't get what I wanted. And I don't want to go in and then try and edit a video and there's not a lot in it. I know I'm overthinking it, but I went to the fireworks table, tried the stuff, and I just went back to the bourbon cask. I thought the bourbon cask was great. Alan Given, Lowlander Jet, what time do you call this? Whisky time. Saturday Night Drams. Of course, any time's a good time. So I was doing this, I just showed up at Burno Benny. I was showing around. Interesting visit when you're in the area. Don't expect a visitor centre so, but interesting it was. No, that's definitely good to know, Frank. Appreciate that. And Lowlander's saying, I picked up the Tasker 11-year-old 2022 special release £52. I couldn't resist. Exactly. At the moment, I've just opened the Kleinleash 10 2023, which I got on an Amazon quick deal for like 40 something quid. It was under 50 quid. It was like 48 or some 44. Just silly money. Donna's getting down, third way down on my first Thompson Brothers SRV5. It's subtle fruity flavours that remind me of the Thompson Brothers Sutherland 5. Interesting stuff. Yeah, and then that Sutherland, it depends on the batch. What batch is that, Donna? Because if you look at the back of the bottle, you'll be able to see it. It's normally under the QR code of that. It's really small. You see the batch number. It's a Solera. The SRV5 is a Solera. So you're going to get whatever they're putting in it and stuff like that. There's going to be old and new in it. I'm not saying that there is Donnock or anything in it, but it's like Sutherland whiskey in it. But it's an interesting concept that they've got going, so that's going to shift over time. Because you're saying, surprisingly, yep, referring to Wireworks, the bourbon cask was hitting really well. They were all great. Yeah, it was all great, but the bourbon cask shines. The spirit shines in a bourbon cask, and they've got good casks. And Lowlander's excuses, he just get back from Dunbar. I had a tough gig eating barbecued langoustines and drinking drams of Thompson Brothers SRV5. Hey, someone has to do it. Aye, what a nightmare, mate. It sounds like you were the same as me this week for my work. Having to get by on just a constant diet of Aperol, Rosé and champagne. South of France style. There you go, on the bourbon. They had several of their special single casks, include a preview of their next necessary evil, but that bourbon exactly. But it's just great. It's great that like Wireworks has just been so accepted into the fold of whiskey. It's mad that prejudice of English whiskey has like evaporated so quickly because of people at Wireworks. The Lakes were doing it for a while. Obviously, there's been a bit of back and forward there for a while. Bimba, they had the hype. It's kind of fell away. But yeah, when it's good, it's just good whiskey. Have I tried that Klein Leash? I have it in the glass right now. I'm really enjoying it. I just think it's just a good Klein Leash. Like, getting a lot of vanilla on it. It's got a great mouthfeel. It's got a little bit of wax on the back end. It's fragrant. It's the mouthfeel's great, but for 57.5 it drinks nowhere near as hot as that. And so I'm like, that's a great dram. You could put that in a highball. I even said that. You put it in a highball. Great summer dram. Or maybe the Thompson Brothers 25th anniversary Dunlop Castle Hotel bottle they just released will be there for you to buy, at least try. Yeah, it's the 1991, isn't it? It was too rich for me to attempt to get. And I think I would hazard a guess it'll still be too rich for me when I'm up there. But I'll definitely try it. I definitely want to try it. That's part of why we're like, right, we need to get the Big Ten. I need to get in that hotel bar and get a flight on the go quick. Not to be irresponsible, but just to then be able to sit for the rest of the night, take back to the room. Because I said we managed to we got a twin room in the castle. We would normally get separate rooms, but we're literally there to sleep at night, and then we're up and out. So it's a case of like, look, let's just save the money for the drams and do that. So it'll be interesting because I'll be shattered after the drive, but it's easy. It's an easy drive. Done it before. Well, done most of it. Never went past Aviemore and then went left. Normally go Speyside. Right, Lowlander, I'm having a wee look through here. Let me see, did I miss it? Did I miss it? What is in your glass this evening, mate? Let us know. That Klein Leash went down an absolute treat. Absolute treat. And so we are now on to the next dram of the evening. So we're pretty much only done Klein Leash with a bit of Glenord. We are going to swing round and we're going to hit up Old Woven Experience number 7. Now I have the little booklet here that came with it. It came with a booklet as such. And this tells me a little bit more. And this is apparently this was the one when I spoke to Pete, who makes Woven. He's the master blender. He said this was a Chardonnay one. And so he said, seemed to improve. It says Chardonnay. So when the classic elegant tones of N7 graced our studio, we freed ourselves from the ABC, anything but Chardonnay mindset, and quickly became obsessed with finding those notes in whiskies. So apparently I should think steely, oyster-inflected tones of Chablis and the oak-soaked butter bombs of California. We let something vibrant, uplifting, and herbal take shape that's ripe with zest, balance, and viscosity. Drink N7 along with water, wine style. So normally when people tell me, oh, this whiskey should be this or whatever, and mix it, it's normally a sign it's not going to be good, but I do trust these guys and what they do. They've not told us. Normally they're quite forthcoming in what's in it, but in this one they don't really say what's in it. So we'll give that a pour and see how it goes down. No harm, no foul. Let's see if I get something. Is that something in that glass? That. And the thing with this one is I can't even pop it for these. Oh, that glass is a bit manky. I'm going to use that glass. I thought it was cleaner than it was. We'll go for and rinse that out. This is 45.3%. Well, let's sniff it. Let's read the chat. What have we got? Go on saying the whiskey will wake you up. Aye. Exactly. When I get there. The buzz alone. What date am I in Dornoch? It is Tuesday the 8th of July. I'll be there till lunchtime on the Wednesday. Flying visit. And I think I'm going to be designated driver on the Wednesday as well. So it's what it is, but make the most of it. Just being there will be enough. Well, I'm seeing a bit annoyed I missed the clean leash offer. Can't complain though. I managed to grab a bottle of the Hazel 1 Sherry that was released this week. Brilliant. We did mention that earlier. You got the Hazel 1. Any other ones? Have you cracked any of them open? Because I've not really read anybody chatting about them yet. And the Thompson Brothers is Lafroig, 1991 Lafroig. Fair play. You managed to buy a couple of them. Is that because I gave the shout out on the live stream that night? Because I'd googled it to get some research about it, and the site was live, and I felt bad. So I never bought any, but I did say to you guys on here, look, by the way, that's live. If you want to go and have a wee look, if you Google it, you'll get it. But it seems they managed to sell a lot. And again, in common with what Diageo are doing and stuff like that, these brands have these bottles sitting on shelves. Surely it's better to get out than just keep them. Better to get something back for them, and also gets a lot of people involved. I think what Woven are doing, I've been such a fan for such a long time. I just like their approach to it all. I like the people they've hired. I think they're just really good communicators. I think they're going after the right type of audience, which is they're not hammering home that it should be a new modern type of audience that drinks whiskey, which some brands have tried and it's been to their detriment. But they've also not leaned in on traditional whiskey, because I think the bottles look like fancy hotel soap dispensers or shampoo dispensers, you know, and I like that about it. So I've always got goodwill towards them. No, WVA I don't follow at all. To be honest, I've not even looked at the auctions for a couple of months now, just to get rid of temptation. But because I know Whisky Auctioneer changed theirs. A few guys in my whiskey group have been tearing their hair out because it's been a nightmare. It's been an absolute nightmare. But I digress. A few bourbons were going for good prices when it finished. Made me think of yourself. Booker 760, Stags 75 to 80, Lepers for. That's it. People are trying to flip stuff at the moment that they're flipping that amongst collectors, and well, not collectors but amongst enthusiasts, and the enthusiasts are picking these up anyway. So the Stags for 75 to 85. See, in future, Alan, I don't know if you're a big bourbon guy, but just grab one. Stags are phenomenal, like really good, just to have. And then when you get into them and they open up, it's just phenomenal bourbon. And Lowlander, I have fennel tea in my mug. I'm saying nothing. And yes, I will be. I'm a half day in Edinburgh on the Tuesday. So this is, I said at the start, we fly up. We're in Edinburgh from 9 a.m. until 3 p.m. on the Tuesday. It's a very long day, but the plan is get into Edinburgh, drop the luggage at the left luggage at Waverley. My friend I'm going with is American. He's never been to Edinburgh, so I'm going to show him the Royal Mile. I'm going to show him Greyfriars Kirkyard. He's going to rub the statue. We're going to have a nice bite to eat, and then I'm kind of like, I don't know what else to show you really in this short amount of time. So I'm all ears. I'm open to that. And then we have to get the train by about 3 o'clock to get into Glasgow, to then get to the airport, to then get the car, to then drive to Dornoch. So it's a long old day, but the adrenaline will just be pumping, so it'll be great. Rob, brilliant to have you in. Hope you're doing well, mate. Let us know what's in the glass, what you're having. And did I pre-order? Craig's asking, did I pre-order? No, I've got a litre bottle of it. Or is it a litre? Aye, a litre, like it's a big bottle. I won at auction for like 40 quid. And I've just never got around to opening it because I had the Weller 12 that I got from France for like 40 quid. So I've just been drinking the Weller 12. But we knew that was coming. I think it's about a year late. It was meant to come last year, the Special Reserve, and there was a rumour that Special Reserve was coming in and then Eagle Rare was going to disappear off the shelves, and that's not happening. And I know Eagle Rare 12 is coming. It's not to replace the 10 either, so I've been told so far. If you saw the video I did where I went to Buffalo Trace in London, and Kyle, the manager there, I've known Kyle for years, and he was like, look, I've asked, and they're saying no, that's not the case at all, but you never know. But he was like, just can't see it. But stranger things have happened. Did you get one, Craig? Have you pre-ordered it? I said, now Dave got me thinking I need to get a stag. Honestly, I will say to people, don't ever feel obligated to get anything, but stag is very good. It's a very good whiskey, a very good bourbon. It's like a great example of how good Buffalo Trace is. Everybody goes pappy and whatever, but there's a reason stags sell out. There's an absolute reason why they sell out. I've been seeing Shedload Weller on auction of late. It seems to hold its price a little higher. It does, but you're seeing a lot of Weller at auction is because there is an old trade agreement between Buffalo Trace and French distributors, Les Maisons de Whisky and stuff. If you go into Les Maisons de Whisky in Paris, you can just walk in and pick up a bottle of like Weller 12 in a box, which I've got up there, for like €40. And you can also buy, sometimes they go online and they'll ship to the UK, depends how many you buy and whatever, at that price as well. And so I would assume some fairly unscrupulous people will be buying a bulk load of it and then just eking it out in the auction to make 20 quid, which is absolutely fine. But I got mine, I got some delivered, and it went out to mates. It went to mates who had never had it before, and I said to them, look, with postage and whatever this is, and it was 50 quid a bottle. I said, trust me, just trust me on this, and Weller 12 at 50 quid a bottle is worth every single penny. It's a phenomenal just drinking whiskey. And then you get stag, and depending on the batch, because there's a different batch whatever, but I had it at the charity tasting I did last year, and it was like 65.5%, right, which is wreck the house just proper, and people loved it. So it all depends, but it's such a great example of what that distillery can do. Derek saying, I'm in Glasgow on the 10th collecting a couple of bottles from SW. Well, mate, like, if you are about, we won't be back in Glasgow until the early evening, late afternoon, early evening. As I said, we're driving down. It'll probably be from Elgin. Assume it's from Elgin. And we're coming down a long way. It's going to take us 5 hours. And if we're leaving at midday, say, give or take, stop for it's 5. I need to be back. I need to be at Glasgow Airport for 6 to drop the car off. So I'm aiming for 5 because of traffic and stuff like that. So if you're about, do let us know. Do let me know. You can DM me. You can send me a message. You can do whatever. Let me know. I'll be posting on Instagram that whole trip as well, and on Patreon, which I've no plugged the Patreon tonight, guys. Quite a few of you in here are on the Patreon. I know Lowlanders just recently signed up as well. Really appreciate all your support. It's honestly, it's enabling me to do stuff like this road trip. Obviously it's no covering. I don't have masses of Patreons, but it gives me enough to be able to go, right, that pays for this or that pays for that, and make the content, and it justifies it a little bit more. It gives me a little bit more wiggle room to do stuff. So it's very much appreciated. if you don't know, I'm going to have to just move slightly. Give me a second. I'd had to move this earlier because of the... There we go. Smash that as well. Got the phone. I'd had to move this a little bit earlier because of the mosquitoes. But I'll show you now. Patreons exclusive. The Drams on the Run. Now, the guys that signed up, the initial offering of this was for anyone that signed up, the first 10 to 12 people, ended up being 12 people who signed up, got this sent right away to them. And for anybody that doesn't know, it is basically, I made this entire thing. It's a zine, Drams on the Run London edition. It's got maps of where to buy in London, what to drink. It's got little snippets about whisky events. It's got some insider advice from people in the London whisky scene who both work and drink in London and buy. And it's not me, which is quite refreshing for a change. I've had a couple of people ask me about it, about how they can get it sooner. And what I don't want to do is, because of the conditions of the Patreon, I don't want to put it for sale yet. The plan is, at the moment, I'm currently working on an edition 2. And it's going to be quite a fairly big undertaking to get that done, but it's going to be ready in probably a month's time. And then it'll be at the 3-month mark of the Patreon launch. That will come out. And then the complicated for myself, but basically 3 months Patreons will get that sent to them, the ones that have already received the first one. And then if you never got the first one sent to you, you'll get your first one sent, and it'll kind of stagger that way. But I will be asking the Patreons, because it's really ultimately up to them, should I make it widely available to people just to purchase as a piece of merch, because it was made exclusively for Patreon. It was made for people that were supporting me. I'd look to try to do it on YouTube and that, but to be honest, I'm really confused by YouTube memberships at the moment. I've not got the time to really delve into it, so I've not looked into how to do it there. But the Patreons get it. There are tiers. You can read the tiers. You can get a virtual version of it as well. At the lowest tier, you can unlock the virtual version of it. But really, the whole point of it was for something to be physical. But I know a couple of years have reached out to get it. I sent it out. I'll be full disclosure. I sent it to a few other whiskey YouTuber mates, just to get their opinion and see what they thought, because you can wrap yourself in a little bubble and think, is this worthwhile? And so you might have seen a few people talk about it and whatever, but it was more a case of just getting it in the hands of people that I think would enjoy it and make use of it. So patreon.com/drinkswhiskey, links in the bio. It's really simple, patreon.com/drinkswhiskey, same as on here. We're getting there. We're coming up to, well, that's 2 months past now, and then month 3 unlocks more rewards, and I've got some other bits and pieces I've got to do for it, and it's really encouraging, and it keeps me motivated. It's not. I was always worried I would feel obligated to do stuff if I did a Patreon. I don't feel the obligation at all, which is great. I still want to do it. That came about because of reading a comment there, but just letting you know. If you subscribe to the biggest tier, which a few of you have, we get to do a Drams on the Run live. We're going to go out and do stuff in that, and maybe capture it on video. We'll get some interesting stuff coming up around that as well in the next couple of months, which I'm really excited about. I'm also looking at doing a couple of fringe events. I'm just looking at timings and stuff. I've got a venue that I can use in Glasgow around the Glasgow Whisky Festival, and I'm just like, do we do something? But we'll wait and see. It's really dependent on Patreon. It's dependent on uptake. It's dependent on demand. I'm not going to promise anything and they'll be able to deliver it. Lowlander, that's a flying visit. You might want to book a table. Make us hash bar at Central where you'll be for a bite to eat, then you can visit, then it's in Newton, the Bow Bar. Yes. So the problem is, Lowlander, I'm driving. So I'll be driving, so I need to be super careful with what I'm doing, because I don't really think I can drink in Edinburgh, which is killing me. It is killing me, but I'm taking my mate Jack, and I'm more than happy for him to enjoy it, like off the bat. And then I was thinking we'd do the Bow Bar on opening and just get the pies, and then go somewhere nice for lunch just as a snack. Don't tell me that. I was in Paris last week with the family, but never had time to go in. I did the Paris video. You should have watched the Paris video I did. Drams on the Run, Paris edition. From, when was that? Like a year back in February I went. And I was like, go here, you can just buy this. It's mad. Craig says, if I see Weller, I buy it. MRSP, secondary prices are ridiculous, a bit like Springbank. Yeah, I know, that's it. I keep, and I think we've spoken about this before, Craig, and I'm pretty sure we have. All I'm after now is, they do single barrel that comes in a kind of burgundy label. I don't care about that. I've tried it, it's not really for me. All I'm after is a CYPB to complete, like, I feel like my infinity gauntlet of bottles. And I've got the antique, and I've got the foolproof, and they're all there to be drank. But again, it'd be with someone like you, Craig, that would crack them open. And I know that you always tease me and say, oh, I'll get them opened, I've got mine opened. Because I want to have that conversation with them. Because I think some of them, like I've had Antique 107, it's great. I've had foolproof, it's great. But you want to sit with people and enjoy it, especially when cracking those opened. I've got, for example, I've got behind me a Thomas H. Handy that I was meant to open ages ago and send out samples to people and stuff, and I've just not had the time. And I thought, well, maybe I'll open it tonight. And then I thought, why? What am I doing? Like, I want to enjoy that in company with people and really do it. Frank, no worries. Honestly, look, mate, you will, because you did sign up. You did sign up to Patreon. So I will get one out to you. That's what I was going to DM you about tomorrow. So I will DM you back and we'll get it sorted. You will get a copy. Because I can't no have a copy in your hands, to be honest, mate. The Edinburgh Fringe. No chance. Yeah, I was thinking we'd be there at opening. I think it's 11 o'clock, still opening. Scottish licensing laws have changed since I was a barman there. I'm amazed they moved the Sunday licensing laws, which is great, but it just amazes me that it's no longer as strict as it used to be. But it's still is it still 11 o'clock the Bow Bar opens? Tim, always a pleasure, thank you so much. And yeah, fingers crossed, I'm sure she will. Yeah, I'm sure she'll have a lovely birthday, but I appreciate it, mate. Appreciate your support. Drinks Whisky Fringe event might make me finally go to a Fringe show for the first time in years, so long as it doesn't cost 20 quid for a ticket. Oh mate, I'll do you a special one for $19.99. How about that? Rob just poured a dram of Kilkerran, heavily peated batch 8. I have a bottle of that right there. And the reason I know that is because I've got every single batch except the latest one, and I've never opened any of them because I'm a stupid idiot who thought, oh, I'll collect these and then I'll do a flight, and then they got to 6 and 7 and 8 and 9 and 10. It just breaks me. Have I seen the Witches? Have you seen the Witches and Whisky Fringe event? No, you need to tell us about that, Alan. Bow Bar might be at 12. You know what? Let's have a wee look now. Gonna have a wee look. We are looking up the Bow Bar. So for people that don't know, the Bow Bar is on, if you're not from Scotland or that, it's on that street that they always try and claim is inspired Harry Potter, which don't believe. Yes, she wrote in a cafe up round the corner, but there's nothing in Harry Potter that looks like that street, but they use it in all the tours. It is 12. That's actually It's quite funny. 12. That's not an Edinburgh law thing. Surely pubs in Edinburgh open before 12. But good to know. We'll be going there for a pie because it's a Scotch pie. You've got to have a Scotch pie when you're in Scotland. Hamish, if you're about, honestly, mate, if not, I'll ping you on Instagram if you don't mind, even for just some tips. But have a great day tomorrow with the Americans, and I'm sure you'll treat them to some. I never even asked what drams you've got lined up for them. If you're away, if you're not away yet, let us know in the chat what drams you're doing. If not, we'll definitely discuss it next time you're on. Have a good night. I don't know if anybody noticed the thumbnail for this evening. I did a bit of, I hate using AI for anything creative, but I took a picture of me from the woods and I put it into ChatGPT and I said, can you make me look really hot and sweaty? And if you look at the thumbnail, it turned me into like being just like drenched, like so wet. And changed some facial features and hand features, but I was like, I don't care, I'll just put this up. And it reminded me of a character from Scotland's legendary online comedian Limmy, when he did his Limmy show on BBC, and he created the guy Soaking Man, who's just soaking, and that's what the wee picture of me on the thumbnail is. So in case anybody's wondering what the hell's that's all about, it's no real. I shouldn't have done it, I know, I shouldn't have used AI, but now I did actually do some news topics I'm going to pull them up, that was intended to be part of the news segment, and again I never really had the time, and the main one was around the release of Glenfarclas. Did you see it? The latest Glenfarclas. I'm going to pull it up now because it's just a bit. I know Dramface had it on their website as well. I know they're independent. I know they're family run. I know that we should always celebrate them. But 70-year-old whiskey, Glenfarclas. It just looks like any other whiskey that Glenfarclas puts out. They didn't do any like giant hand bottle or anything like that, thankfully. But it's coming out at a sweet 20 grand a bottle. Before I go, Whiskey Party asked for whiskies with a story. Groom's name is Alex. We did Glenmoe 12, 1990s label, brilliant. Brackler 18, brilliant. Dalmore King Alexander, excellent. And then a Locklear limited edition from Aberdeen Whiskey. You'll need Hamish, oh, and yes, absolutely. I've just seen that there. Kubokian 15-year-old, which is right there on my shelf. Love the Kubokian 15. And I'm assuming that's the stories that you're talking about, Hamish. I know you need to get away. I don't want to keep you on too long. The stories that you're talking about, are you talking about like stories behind the whiskey that you can talk about, like how Kubokian Tomatin's not really like a peated distillery, blah blah blah. They only do a couple of weeks a year. XYZ. They're gonna love the Dalmore King Alexander. Absolutely. And then what's this up here? Surely you're going to be in the Potterstone in Glasgow for a pie as well. I heard the Bonaccord is moving from North Street next year. End of lease apparently. Yes, I'd heard that a couple of months ago. The lease is up. And they put it out in a really kind of unassuming way on Instagram as well. And I don't know if everybody quite grasped it. I heard it was this year they were moving. I don't know if they've got a wee bit of an extension to find a new venue. It's a shame. It's really a shame. I don't understand what the landlords try to do with it. I would assume it's doing well. But if a landlord's just getting rent, they don't really care how well the pub's doing. Will someone else pick up that location? I know there's a lot of new developments happening across the road, i.e. the motorway, across the motorway from it. Maybe they want a slice of that. I'm not sure. It's really a shame. It's really a shame, especially for that part of town. It's perfect if you're working your way either way, into town or out of town, from West End into Central. I don't know too much, to be honest. I've not asked many people about it because it's just such a delicate situation as well. You don't want to be kind of gossiping about it, but at the same time they've put something out about it. So they're no renewing, and it doesn't seem they're buying bottles either from the post that they put out. Which isn't encouraging either. If they're not buying bottles, and what are they planning on doing when the lease is up? Again, I'm speculating. Stop that. I'm not going to do that. But once I know more, I will definitely let everybody know. It's so in here because the AI generate. Yeah, that's it. That is exactly it. And hot and sweaty, isn't that kind of content for another type of website? Yeah, mate. Patreon, you just wait. Subscribe to the higher tier. Only drams. You missed the skill teacher only fan chat from the tipsy. The bond must be in a current location for a long time. Well, I don't know if I've said it, but I think I've said it before in the stream. My dad, obviously my family's from Glasgow, and my dad and my uncle used to run a quite successful mobile disco company and run all the pubs and all that kind of stuff in the 90s, and he knew them all. He knew everybody in the bar scene in Glasgow, and he knew the former, off the top of my head, I can only apologise, can't remember the current landlord, owner, and I can't remember his father's name for shame, but he knew them really well, because when I first started getting into whiskey, he's like, oh, I know such and such there, and I'm like, aye, cool, no knowing what he's talking about. But they've been there a long enough time to build up quite a significant. It's a local as well for all the whiskey heads and whatever that come in and come out, but there's people that sit there. Like, I walked in and I know people that are locals in the Bon Accord, because I used to be a barman round the corner to the Bon Accord at a bar called the State Bar, and there was a lot of transit between those two bars, so you kind of know people when you walk into these places. So it's a blow. That's why I feel for them. I really do feel for it, because it's a local institution, not just for the whiskey tourism and for us that go up for the festivals and stuff like that, but for locals, for that Anderson area. It gets overlooked a lot. There's no many pubs left, so it's quite a shame. But if you tease it, you tease it. What can you do? Frank, I'm starting to lose a battle against Tyler. It's been a busy and hot day, so switching to listening only mode and fall asleep most likely. So see you next time, /ma. Frank, I can only apologise for my dulcet tones. But mate, do what you need to do. Always a pleasure to have you on. Always appreciate your support. Have a good night. And that was it. Thomas took over from his dad. His dad sadly passed away suddenly. That was it, Thomas. And weirdly, the only podcast episode so far that's up at Drams is with Marcos from North Star, and we're in the Bon Accord and we're talking exactly about the family in there, because his dram that he brings, it means a lot to him. I'm not going to spoil it if you've not seen it. Go watch It's picked up a lot of views, picked up a lot of listening. I'm not quite sure why. I don't know if it's getting used in a school for like, this is Glaswegian, understand it. But it's doing well. Lowlander, only drams, lol. You might have hit upon an idea for a niche market for those who like whiskey and romantic content. Well, they'll be looking elsewhere for the romantic content. I can tell you that. I've not got time for the romantic content. What could be more romantic than a man pulling up the Van Winkle? You want to see my Van Winkle? There we go. Straight in with that. I'm having to cannibalise the glasses this evening, but we're all friends here. And a bit big on that pour, but when it's that. So, we're talking about stag, winding Alan up to an extent, saying if you can get stag, you buy stag. Rip Van Winkle is not Pappy, technically, because it's Rip Van Winkle. And Pappy's Pappy Van Winkle, and that comes from the 15 onwards. But, in terms of drinking and how you like your bourbon, for context, bourbon ages so much quicker because of the environment of Kentucky than Scotch does. And therefore, when you get to a 15-year-old bourbon, when you get to the 20-year-old and whatever, the wood influence becomes really strong, and you can see it how dark that is at 10, right? I really enjoy, there's Lot B, which is 12, and it's a very nondescript, kind of simple label. You have 10. Don't get me wrong, 15 is phenomenal. But see, just as pure not guilty, pleasure feeling. Like 15, if I get a bottle of that, that's probably going to sit on a shelf for a while until I have the occasion to rip open the cap and pour it and have a good time. The 10 and the 12, however, are fantastic. They're really good. It's got such a depth to it in terms of flavour, which makes it worth hunting out. Don't pay a lot of money for it though. It's not worth a lot of money. It's good, it's not that good. There's better bourbon. I reckon pound for pound you can get. Right, I'm just going back to the chat here. I'm seeing the chat going. Derek's saying he spoke to Thomas last year and he spoke about the move. My belief is there's a plan within the area, which would be fantastic, because I think they are. That's what I mean. Like, they've got to look after their community. There's like, but it's such a great shape of place because you've got kind of sections, isn't it? It's a little bit of a shame. Anyway, it's no goodbye. It's just like, see you later. Lowlander's saying if they move some in near Queen Street, that would be good for me, selfish. It would be, mate, it would be good for you, but I don't think, if they can't afford the rates that are coming up there, I don't know if they'd afford them down there, to be honest. They're trapped between a rock and a hard place, because they're in Anderson, and then you get Finnieston, which has now become like a food mecca overnight in Glasgow. Not overnight, it's came over the last few years, but it's so weird for me because it was never a nice place. When I lived there, it was always a little bit rough, keep your wits about you, and now it's just full of really expensive food restaurants. And then you go the other way and you're back in town, and the rates are mental there as well, so they're kind of boxed in a wee bit where they can move. I think that's why everybody worried about it. Alan's saying, so for a 15-20-year-old bourbon, is that going to be in virgin cask all that time? No, it'll be virgin cask. That's bourbon for you. It has to be. They can re-rack at certain points, but then it changes what they're doing. No, so Pappy, the way it works is it's all in the same estate. So it's all at Buffalo Trace. So when I went to got those Kentucky videos, and I'm at Buffalo Trace, and you see me walking down, and I get to I don't highlight it in the video because there's so much going on, but I get to like a barrow kind of cooperage place of sorts. Before you get to the cooperage, I'm walking a straight line. There's a warehouse, and that's where they keep the pappy. And it's a mash bill, and it's a warehouse, and it depends on which floor of the warehouse because the weather gets so extreme. And it's all about the floor because all the barrels are made the same and they're made by the same people. It's very funny, and it's a family that kind of own that warehouse of sorts. They own the naming rights and whatever. I'm sure some bourbon experts can probably give me far more detail and say, no, you're wrong, David, it should be this and that and that. But it's just funny how it goes. And the reason for the price is because by the time they put the prices up this year, but by the time like the 23-year-old, 22-year-old, the other pappy, there's not a lot left because it's so extreme, the heat and the way it works. There's some amazing distilleries like Bardstown are doing so much experimentation with the warehouses, and they've got like a glass wall in one of them to see what effect having a glass wall, but they've got the sun setting at a certain angle so it doesn't give them the exact degree of heat and all this kind of stuff, because that's what the margins are in bourbon. It's time, it's angel share, it's work. They're trying to all find a way of doing something that's going to make their whiskey A, worth a lot, but B, increase the amount that's left at the end of the maturation process. Right, B, hello David, joining late, out for a walk. Mate, enjoy your walk. Where are you walking? Where are you walking? Let us know. Appreciate you joining. Nancy just asking, as it feels a long time for the climate. And that climate, not surprised it's woody. Honestly, I had the 20 on that. It is just wood. I'm not a fan of it. The 15 felt like the perfect pappy of the pappy names. And I think that's quite a common consensus. But the 10 is great. And even for me, 10-year-old bourbon is old bourbon. Like, bourbon doesn't need a lot of time. If it's good spirit, you don't need that amount of maturation in it at all. For instance, for the hipster these days, yeah, with money. But I had a great meal there the last time I was there. We went to Crab Shack, and it was great. It was really good. And weirdly, I'm not a fish person, and I was just like, oh, I really fancy some like fresh seafood because I'm in Glasgow. I don't know what came over me, but it was fantastic. Rob, I need a good whiskey bar in my town. Rob, make one, do it. Just do it. It gives you an excuse to buy all your whiskey and get into it. I need one as well. We're in London and we really struggle. And people will argue me on that. Get on the Patreon. You'll get this. This will explain it all. But there are some banging bars in London that come with banging prices. By banging, I mean like you bang your head against the bar. They're not great priced. They go in deep. They try and take advantage of people that don't know enough. It just gets a bit tiresome, so you just don't go anymore. It's such an expensive place to go out in. I will say, no spoilers from the Drams on the Run zine, but Swift, Bar Swift, Soho, Shoreditch and Borough. I can't say I've been to Shoreditch, but I've been to Soho, I've been to Borough. Fantastic. Borough, Charlie, manager, downstairs, behind the bar, the whiskey bar. Loves the Springbank, loves everything about Campbelltown. Brings in handfuls, does a lot, looks after you, and you ask the price of bottles, and you're no made to feel like an idiot. And then you're no feeling like an idiot because he goes, oh, this Charlton whiskey, blah, 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 £8 a pour. You're like, pour it, no problem. Whereas some bars you go into, you ask, how much is that? You're scoffed at, you're huffed at, you get the bottle, you look at it, and it's like, oh, for this Klein Leash 10, aye, it's £47 a pour. And you're like, oh, what's going on here? So I need more whiskey bars. I need some good whiskey bars. Thankfully there are a few, but that's the dream. The dream would be to have a whiskey bar. Well, they're saying just add more shelves. Mate, look, I did it. I'm complaining and I built. You can see. Fully functional bar. Just need people to come and drink. And Derek's saying doesn't know the area, but it's just down the road from the current location. If that's the case, mate, it'll be fine. They'll still get people coming to it. It was just such a easy location for taxis and stuff as well, in and out. But it's such a hassle moving, isn't it? Such a hassle. Craig saying he never gave bourbon a second look. My mistake. It's a very exciting Scotch whisky. Just a shame that the US is going through the tariff saga. Yeah, I know. I think we might be coming out alright in that at the moment, but I know it is restricting stuff. But I also think we're seeing a lot of stuff that was coming or maybe held up being released quite quick in the UK. We're in quite a fortunate position. I think we're still seeing the effects of currency and stuff as well. Like the Green River stuff is great, but it's a wee bit overpriced for what it is. And Mike saying he's just out and about, near home, beautiful sunny day here in the Bay Area. Mate, it's been sunny here. I don't know if you can tell. The theme this evening is hot and sweaty. Everybody's roasting. The common cry amongst most people in the UK is, how do people live in hot countries? How do they deal with this? And then the cry back is air conditioning, which we just don't have. We just don't have. And Lauren's saying that you should like fish. The coat of arms of Glasgow has a couple of fish on it. It was a fish that never swam. That's what's on the coat of arms. Because we all know that Glaswegian fish that never swam, the tree that never grew, the bell that never rang, the something. The whole St Mungo thing. I should know it. Shame on me. No, I'm never really a fish person. Just couldn't really get into it. And yet, the older I get, the funnier it gets. But I'm like, yeah, I'll have mussels and chips. But I won't eat prawns. So it's odd. Just going through the chat here. I need some of the Whiskey Wife Union. You know what? I'll let you guys deal with that yourselves. My union of one at the moment is working well. It was her idea for all this in the first place, so I can't really push back. And it's Saturday night, and she allows me to come down here and hang out with you guys. So I'm not getting involved in this chat. Dry here in Cali, thankfully. Used to live on the East Coast and hated humidity. Stay cool. Yeah, no, I know. But we don't. We're humid, but not. It's weird. We're an island, aren't we? So we get that humidity, but at the same time. Any good pickups recently, Mike, on the whiskey scene out in Cali? Do let us know. I asked. My mate asked me, coming over. He's like, "What do you want me to bring?" Because he's getting excited. He's going, "What do you want me to bring?" And I was going, "Well, get me another Dicko 15. Dicko 15-year-old, like barrel strength, single barrel. You can pick up in Bevmo in California and whatever, and it's like $60, and it's great. It's really good." So I was like, "Get me one of those." And I said, "And if you want to be absolutely flash, whatever, or make a wee bit of effort, like by effort I mean like go on a wee bit of a hunt, if you could, the Little Book Infinite that I spoke about before." So I don't think he's managed to find it, but that's my Cali picks at the moment, because there seems to be some kicking about. There's some in New York as well, but nothing on there. Craig saying, "Bed for me, the Ben Rinnes signatory has hit the spot." Mate, always just a nice big meaty sherry bomb before you go to bed. Going before you wax about Green River. Nope. Craig, we're not getting into it. It's been a while since I had it, therefore I'm not going to wax about it because it might have changed. Might explain why you don't like it. So, not at all, but mate, appreciate your support as always. Thanks for joining. We've got another 10 minutes, guys, on the stream. Please do let me know what you're drinking in the summer. That's the theme for this evening. I want to come away from this going, oh, it's a couple of things I need to try. Any cocktails, anything whiskey related that is hitting the spot for you. Anybody watching and catch up, leave it in the chat. Get involved. What are you drinking? Any questions you may have? Try my best to get back to all the chat questions as well. Anybody that comments, I always try and reply. You're just saying Kel wins a Vidical exclusive for 40 quid. Yeah, I was trying to get him. He's never went to K&L Lounge. And I'm kind of like, come on, if we can get you in there, you can get a Redacted Brothers bottling, you can get some other things, get to know them. I'm trying to get him involved with the Los Angeles Whisky Club. I think all this is going to happen after he comes over. And we're pretty much going to baptise him in the whisky scene of Scotland very quickly. It's going to be quite... I'm intrigued to see where his palate goes. Especially because we're going Highland, then we're going Speyside, back to Glasgow, and then we're going Blackpool, and it's going to be bourbon. So it'll be interesting to see if he's found his dram, if he's found his region by that point. Mike saying nothing the last couple of months, on a bit of a buying hiatus. Mate, aren't we all? I did pick up the new Springbank tasting pack, so looking forward to trying the new 1998 vintage. Mate, fair play, getting one. I've not seen many people drinking the 1998 vintage, surprisingly, so it'll be good to know. And then I've got Lowlanders came in asking, have you made a video about making some cocktails with some popular whiskies, or am I just making that in my head? I made a Christmas one, but it was just a laugh. I just thought it'd be funny, because I was trying to make all those 12 drams of Christmas videos, and then illness took hold. And what I did at that time was I made, oh God, my dog's gone mental, it's just alerted. I made the ones of like the best whiskey and coke you can have, bourbon and coke, and I poured the rip and all that, and they were a bit of tongue-in-cheek ones, but I do have a work stream that I've lined up, a schedule of the videos I need to make this summer, and they are going to be more beginner focused, and by beginner, more intro. So a lot of you guys on here just now, you'll watch them and hopefully enjoy them. I would like that, but they're not really aimed at you guys. It might take something away from it, but it's going to be like, why would you get any whiskey? What do you like whiskey? What's the best intro whiskies and stuff like that? And we know the answers to that are a bit vague, but it just for the channel, to help the channel. I need to do a bit of the old George Clooney, one for them and one for me approach to try and keep the channel growth going and keep things moving, because it's an old slog. It's a slog, but then you watch people put out some content and it's so generic and it goes whoa. And I'm like, I need to do the generic bit, don't I, to just try and help myself. But I did put out a whiskey cocktail video that was very, very tongue-in-cheek. I think sometimes I forget to tell people it's tongue-in-cheek, and so they don't quite get it. I know you guys do, but I don't know if it's a Scottish sense of humour and it's just too dry. And Rob saying, sometimes cocktails are gin and tonic. Yeah, brilliant. Like gin and tonic. Squeeze that lime in, it hits the spot, but it's more like, I'm thinking more from a whiskey point of view, because I think the whiskey market sees a downturn in the summer, in the UK especially. Maybe not in the US, because you've got your mint juleps, you've got your old fashions that are such staple whiskey cocktails. So I'm just wondering, like from a Scottish point of view, what would you make? K&L are going to be the exclusive importer for Mystery Batch 2. Yeah, like the Mystery Batch 2 thing completely passed me by. I thought it was a one and done, and then I discovered that, so it'll do well, hopefully, as well. So in the Corrivekin, here's the thing, so I have a little video. I was going to try and put it in tonight, and then I was like, no, it'll go up on Patreon. So on Patreon, I've been doing little, it's called Patreon Eyes Only videos. Just little snippets, behind the scenes and whatever. But when I went to Cannes, I did, I flew out of London City Airport. It's just a small airport, and I did their duty free, and they had Corrivekin and stuff. And then I was in Nice, and they had it there as well. It's not cheap anymore at Corrivekin or Ugadal. You're talking like between 80 to 100 quid a bottle. I'm like, what's going on? What's happened there? So it's a great dram, but it's just moving away. Perhaps you can make a new video using decent blends like yeah, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, I was thinking make something that's a bit more up to date and actual less tongue in cheek, and just like, here, how about this, that, and that. Part of the reason for this stream, the idea tonight, was to just kind of test out what about this cocktail, what about that, what are other people having that can relate. But also the problem is, I think the biggest problem is bars. You need bars to be stocking this stuff, and we don't have enough good whiskey. So one of the videos I'm going to be making is like, what's the best bar whiskey? If that makes sense. And I'm going to have to go run a load of bars and see what's behind the back bar, and then pick out a couple that are consistently there, and then say, like, if you're having this, have that. But if you need to mix it with that. Obviously taste is subjective, I always say that, but there's a lot. Problem is, mate, there's too much, there's too many ideas. I just need to get them done, to be honest. Mike loves the highball, especially this time of year. Yeah, mate, I tried. The ice melted as soon as I got in here because it's roasting. This Springbank t-shirt, which you can exclusively get if you go to drinkswhiskey.com and merch. Funk it up in the glass, that's what it says, is sticking to me. Had a penicillin cocktail with wee beastie when I was with Glenn, quite tasty. Yeah, penicillin's great as well. There's a million really good just whiskey cocktails that we don't make, and we need something that's as simple as a Negroni. Do you know what I mean? Like, the Negroni is like, here's your booze, ice, done. And I know that's an old fashioned, and I know penicillin is the same, and I know, like, I get it, but we have to convert people to be doing it. Smoky cokey, peated whiskey, I know it should be Lagavulin, Coke, ice, done. And Donna, yeah, we're lucky in California. K&L Wine is the sole importer of Thompson Brothers to the US so far. They do not ship liquor to other states. And then Rob's just saying that they'll ship to Missouri. Are you meaning that Thompson Brothers won't ship? Guys, did we make it through the batch? We never made it to the last whiskey. So we'll need to save that for another time, which was going to be the Pendrin Fruit Hat, which has a profile of imaginations running wild, comparing it with a frivolous festive fruit hat worn by Carmen Miranda. This dram must be tasted to believe in. It's Welsh, it's Pendrin. And this was a first fill ex-bourbon barrel. So Petehead, Frank, I know you'll be asleep, but we're saving it. Don't you worry, next time I see you, you'll have a dram, because it's only been the neck poured out it. But we will save that for another night. Guys, as always, it's been an absolute pleasure spending a Saturday night evening with you, enjoying the drams. I hope wherever you are in the world, you are having a wonderful time. Stay safe. Please do, for any updates, Instagram, Drinks Whisky Instagram. You'll get the most updates. The YouTube community tab is a pain in the arse, to be honest. It's really hard to keep up to date on it, so that's why I end up posting late and stuff like that. Patreon, patreon.com. Have a look. There's tiers. There's a free tier as well. There's chat on there. There's loads of bits and pieces. Update that. It's a nice wee community on there as well. And I'll see you in the next one. As I said, final reminder, 2 weeks from now is my daughter's birthday. No stream. But that week after it, you'll need to forgive me for no stream, because that week after it is going to be hectic and it's going to be all whiskey. And so we're going to get a lot of really good stuff out the back of it. And all the best, guys. And I will see you later. Cheers.